So you start networking, you meet people, you get involved with Facebook groups, business groups, you learn loads of stuff from it, but then people start sending you friend requests and they're really business connections. They're not really personal friends. So then you don't know whether to accept them or risk insulting them if you don't accept their friend request, or what about setting up a second profile? Well, these are all the questions that many business people have when they're networking and using social media actively. So Facebook's a great tool for staying in touch with people and building relationships, but you might not want to show the same things to your friends and family as you do to your business connections. So if you were to set up two personal profiles on your Facebook, you would be violating Facebook's terms and conditions. If you do that and you have Facebook pages and groups that you use for your marketing, you risk having those closed down instantly without any recourse, without any investigation or anything. They can just say, no, you're violating our terms and conditions. Done. Closed. No appeals, no nothing. So it's better to use a safer way to separate professional and personal boundaries. You might be having a bad hair day that you want to share with your friends. You want a bit of moral support from your friends, but you don't want to share those kind of posts to your professional network. So how do you do that? I'm going to show you. So here we have on Facebook a friend request, or sorry, this is a profile of Jules Taylor. Jules has said she will happily volunteer to be my guinea pig, so I am going to request her to become a friend. So when she accepts the friend request, I can add her to special lists, but I could also do that before. So if you see here, when I hover over my mouse over the friend request button, I can see some options. Now, an easy way to separate personal from business acquaintances is just to add all your business connections to the acquaintances list. However, the downside of doing that is that although they are business connections, you might want to stay in touch with their posts just as much as you would your personal friends and family. And if you add them onto acquaintances, what you're doing is telling Facebook that you don't really like them so much. You don't want to see them so often. So what you can do instead is add them to other lists. So see these lists that are on here on this drop down. You can see these little lightning. These are auto-generated lists by the Facebook algorithm. So they are connections that I've got. So DOT, the Dublin Institute of Technology, that's where I did my human resources management degree. Schools that I went to, trainings that I've done. Obviously, I'm in and around London, so people that I know in London, that's an auto-generated list. So I could add Jules to one of those lists. And the way I use lists is also to remember where I met them from. So Jules is a business contact, so I'm going to add her to that list. She's also in my Business Success Matters group. So she is part of a vibrant, positive community of business owners who want to support each other in succeeding in their own individual goals. So I'm going to add that. But there are lots of other lists that I could also add her to. And these are all lists that I've generated. So you can see here, if I met people from locally, St Albans, of St Albans Business Network, I'd have added her to that list as well. Some of these lists are personal, and some of them are. Look, there's a list for people that I've met on Twitter. I've become friends with people on Twitter, and then we've become Facebook friends. So when I add people to the list, this also serves its purpose of reminding me where I first connected with them from. So sometimes you can be connected with somebody on Facebook for quite some time, build good, positive online relationships, but then you lose track of how you actually initially started that conversation. So when you add them to the list straight away, that will help keep top of mind and keep you on track of where you know people from. So the next part of it is when you go to create a status, which everybody is familiar with, you can then actually separate whether you want who you want to see this status. So you can begin to separate. You can create specific friends for a particular list. So you could create statuses that are specific to business networking, or you can just create the friends except acquaintances. So this might be for a personal post, it might be a family gathering, a christening, a special birthday. Your family and your friends might want to know about it, but perhaps your business colleagues don't, and perhaps you don't want your business colleagues to know everything that goes on in your personal life. It's about keeping professional and personal boundaries. So just as you would go into an office, you choose what things to share about your personal life with your colleagues. The same applies on social media platforms. You need to be prudent about who's listening. From a business perspective, everything you post on social media can create the impression. It creates your reputation. It's what you're known for. It's what people think of when they think of you. So every post counts, and this is why making sure that each post supports your online marketing strategy is very important, which is why I've created the Finding Your Business Voice workshops to help people find that sweet spot between being authentic, sharing your natural, normal personality without trying to pretend to be something you're not, but only sharing the selective things that are relevant for your business audience or for your customers. So that's how you do it. Then you post and you share. Now, the one thing to remember on the Facebook settings is once you've changed this setting here, and you can also put a different setting for your story as well. The next time you create a Facebook status, it will remember the last setting that you had. So if you don't change it, then that's what it will stay to. So hopefully this has been of help. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below and I will get back to you. Thanks a lot.